We've seen some pretty good bouts in the ring this spring. We've got another good one coming up on Saturday, a lightweight fight between Devin Haney and Vasiliy Lomachenko. Haney is the undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, and the ring lightweight champion, while Lomachenko is a former unified lightweight champion and three-division world champion. Shantelle and Bryan Fonseca, they are boxing gurus. They host a fantastic boxing show called The Mandatory. They both join me now to talk about this fight. Guys, how's it going?
It's going good, Dex. A big fight this weekend, and we appreciate you having us on.
Always. Yep. Look, I'm excited about this fight. Bryan knows I'm a bit of a Loma fan. We'll put that out there. I've always liked his style, like how he boxes, and I'm, really intrigued to see if he's still got something left to show us. Now, Shantelle, I'm going to start with you on this one with Haney. With recent victories over George Kambosos Jr., and he extended his record to 29-0, how do you assess his performance and confidence going into this fight against Lomachenko?
I think Devin Haney's confidence is at an all-time high when you think about his two performances against George Kambosos Jr. I mean, he absolutely dominated, and in one of those fights, I think you could even argue that he swept every round in that fight. And when you also think about the fact that mentally he had to go all the way to Australia, he wasn't fighting in his backyard, I think that gave him even more confidence that he can really beat anyone anywhere. But let's not sleep on Vasiliy Lomachenko here. This is going to be Devin Haney's toughest test, but I think right now, with the wins that he's gotten over George Kambosos Jr. in Australia, he knows that right now he is the best lightweight in the world.
He's confident with that coming into this fight and very dominant in those two victories against Kambosos Jr., as you mentioned there. Now, Bryan, on the other side looking at this, many consider this fight as a potential passing of the torch moment, with Haney being the younger fighter. Do you agree with this assessment? And if so, how do you think it'll impact the strategies and the mindset of both boxers as we head into this fight on Saturday?
Or you could say that Devin Haney has a torch right now because he's an undisputed champion and Lomachenko's trying to get it back one more time on the way out. And really with Lomachenko, what he has to do is not get off to a slow start, because that's what killed him against Jermaine Ortiz, and that's what killed him against Teofimo Lopez. Luckily, he got it back against Jermaine Ortiz, but he got off way too late against Teofimo Lopez, and it cost him that fight. And Jermaine Ortiz was a close victory. Ultimately, he's not going to be able to do that against Devin Haney, get off to that slow start, because Devin Haney is going to counterpunch him and not take any chances early. And while Lomachenko is going to be trying to bait him in, Devin Haney is very smart. He has a ring IQ of somebody who's been boxing for 10, 20 years professionally. And he's only 24 years old. He gets young Floyd Mayweather comparisons for that reason. And he's somebody who will be trying to neutralize Lomachenko using his physical advantages. He has a 3-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. And Lomachenko's going to have to try to close that gap early. Otherwise, he could be in for a long night.
Yeah, it could be in for a long night. And so here's the part where I'm interested with you guys. This is the money time. On your show, you both always talk about the best bets for each fight. Haney is the favorite in this one, even though Lomachenko is the more accomplished fighter. Who are you putting your money on to win this fight? I'm very intrigued by your answers. I haven't talked to you guys about this before, so I'm intrigued. I'm hoping you guys pick the right person. Shantelle, I'll start with you.
Well, for Devin Haney, like I mentioned, this is going to be his toughest test, but this is a fight where I think whoever establishes the jab early on and has the higher work rate is going to be winning this fight. I think Devin Haney is going to establish the jab. He's going to establish the right hand. And like Bryan mentioned, Vasiliy Lomachenko, he is known to start a little bit slow. He can't get this going in the 6th round like how he did against a guy like Jermaine Ortiz. But I do think Lomachenko is going to have some moments in this fight, but I think Devin Haney, he's going to be using that shoulder roll D, which a lot of people compare to Money Mayweather. He's kind of hard to touch at times. Lomachenko is going to be trying to close the gap, and I think he will have some success because Devin Haney did struggle a little bit with Jorge Linares and as well with Jojo Diaz when they were able to close the gap. But I just think Devin Haney is going to start off a little bit quicker than Lomachenko. So I'm going to take Devin Haney on points by decision. It's a -175, but there is some value if you think Lomachenko will be able to turn it up a little bit earlier at +230. I know that's a bit of a hedge bet, but I'm actually just going to roll with Devin Haney at -175 to win on points and by decision.
Okay, Shantelle, rolling with Devin Haney, going against my boy Lomachenko. Bryan, are you doing the same?
I know it's better content if we disagree, but I don't, because this was my knee-jerk reaction pick. And as soon as the fight got announced, I felt like Devin Haney was going to win on points. So that's where I'm leaning. I just think that he's going to be able to counter Lomachenko's attacks think he's going to use the reach advantage that he has. I think he's going to use his physical advantages. He's also bigger and somebody who's not going to be long for lightweight. We're going to see him to move up to 140 pounds at some point in the near future, and perhaps 147 pounds welterweight after that. And I think Devin Haney is going to be able to bank rounds here, and Lomachenko is going to have a tough time closing the gap. Ultimately, Devin Haney is probably Lomachenko's toughest fight as a professional. I think he's even better than Teofimo Lopez, but for reasons because you can't really hit him in the same way. Like, he's somebody who, when you try to get in this airspace, he's so smart at just keeping you at distance, using his jab, which will be difficult to land against a southpaw, and he'll probably establish a straight right hand and has great body work as well. And I think those body shots will be able to keep Lomachenko from doing all the Lomachenko stuff and getting near and moving and switching angles and things of that nature. I think Devin Haney's going to neutralize him over the course of time, and I do think it's going to be a close fight. You'll probably see some 115, 113s or 116, 112s, but ultimately, I think Devin Haney wins this on points.
All right, wins on points. Both you guys rolling with that. I'm a little disappointed in you both for not picking Vasiliy Lomachenko, but it's okay. It's okay, guys. You guys are great at what you do. That is Shantelle Shan and Bryan Fonseca. They host the Mandatory. Go check that out. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube for sure. Guys, this should be a good fight for sure on Saturday. I will be watching, or you guys will be watching. Thank you for the time.
Appreciate your time, Dex.
Thanks for having us.